Derick Loyola. Derick is a past president of the Park City Sunrise, and he's going to give us a report on the Friendship Exchange team to Argentina.
Buenas tardes, everybody. All right, thank you. When Governor Leckman said, can you give a report on the Friendship Exchange to Argentina? I said, sure, I think within 45 minutes I could squeeze it all in. He said, well, you got 8 minutes. So clock's ticking, let's get going. And in essence, to save time, instead of giving you a lot of pictures of the beautiful scenery, I'll have some of those of Argentina. I really wanted to concentrate more on their friendship, since it is a friendship exchange. A past president of Rotary International said, if every young person went on a Rotary Youth Exchange, there would be peace on this earth. Can you imagine no wars, no fighting? But why should we limit it to just the youth? There should be a program for the adults to participate in this too, and there is. It's the Rotary Friendship Exchange. Mark Twain said, travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it sorely on these accounts. Broad, wholesome, charitable views of men and things cannot be acquired by vegetating in one little corner of the earth all one's lifetime. The Friendship Exchange is an opportunity. It's not a service trip. It's not a humanitarian trip. It's a friendship exchange where people from one area of the world go to another area of the world, live with them, see what they're like, live their lives, and then in exchange, the other group goes to visit the first group. The third tenet of the things we think, say, and do is will it build goodwill and better friendships. It's easy for us to build friendships here because we're all very alike. When you build friendships with people you don't know and you really know nothing about, I think that's what the spirit of Rotary is about. The friendship building team was led by everybody's best friend, Fred Berthrong out of Logan. Here he is making friends with the media in an interview in Jujuy. John Pace from Salt Lake City is sharing pictures with a friend in the airport there. Vicki and Chris Davison from Salt Lake City were making friends with the ice cream parlor. They had great ice cream there. And I was making friends with some of the folk dancers in Jujuy. If you're going to go anywhere in Argentina, you have to go through Buenos Aires. The district that we visited was on the western slope. The eastern slope of the Andes, the western boundary of Argentina. Buenos Aires is the capital, 3 million people in a country of 40 million people. It's very, very, very modern, very cosmopolitan. Most of the descendants there are from Italy or from Spain or Germany, many European countries. And they've been able to develop, but they've still been able to hang on to the traditions. The picture on the right is a picture of a restored fishing village from an Italian fishing village in La Boca. And people painted their houses, whatever color their boats were painted, whatever paint they left over, they would paint their houses. So that's why it's so brightly colored. The Casa Rosada, the pink house, is their equivalent to our White House. That's where Eva Perón said, "Don't cry for me, Argentina." And they still do dance the tango in the streets there. So I really like the picture on the left. It shows the diversity of Argentina. You see the very, very modern building on the far left next to an older, probably 100-year-old building, and then you got I don't know what style that other one is, and then like a postmodern on the corner. It's a very beautiful city, very cosmopolitan, very European style. And then from there, the team got together and met in Mendoza. Mendoza, as you can see, is very similar to Salt Lake City. It's on the base of the foothills of the Andes Mountains, and they depend also on snow and water from the mountains as their water source. There's canals and ditches everywhere that distribute water to a very, very green city. And the area is really known as a source for a lot of farms, agriculture, etc. District 4849 were our hosts. I've put a scaled map of Utah on top of Argentina to kind of give you an idea of how big it is. The area that we visited is just to, you see Cordoba right above Utah. We were west of Cordoba along the Chilean border, the far northwest corner of Argentina. They have 80 Rotary clubs there with only about 1,100 Rotarians. If you do the math, it's about 14 Rotarians per club. A lot of those Rotary clubs were just men. A lot of the Rotary clubs were just women. I'll let you guess which one was the most productive and did the most. They meet at about 9 o'clock in the evening. That's one thing we found out there. You eat dinner about 10 or 11 o'clock at night. If we got to bed before midnight, it was a miracle. So, and when they come here, some of them told me, we had dinner at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They were just outraged that they would eat dinner, but we would eat dinner that early. Anyway, they have 80 youth exchange students in their district. We have 5. We have 6 going out next year. If we want to build goodwill and better friendships, if we want to build peace, we need to have more students going out. I'm also in the youth exchange program, so a little plug. Because of the declining membership in Rotary in that district and the next district next to it in Cordoba, as of July 1st, they're going to be combining both districts, which means the district governor, John, you'd have to visit 144 clubs in a year. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to figure it out. There were 13 clubs out of the 80 Rotary clubs that participated in this friendship exchange, and the person that put it on from Argentina, she said there were a lot of clubs that were really upset with her that we did not go to visit them in their clubs, but it would be hard for us to visit 80 clubs in 14 days. District Governor Daniel Mayo is a fantastic man. They greeted us the first night there in Mendoza with a big ceremony, some bling, obviously exchanging banners and everything else. He was on top of everything. Everywhere we went, he made calls to make sure that we were okay, that we were taken care of, and everything was going to plan. Ana Cáceres, she's the woman on the right in both pictures. You may recognize her. She was here about 11 years ago in a group study exchange and stayed with many in many of the homes that we maybe perhaps one of your homes. She was the one that put this together. She was the one that really inspired this exchange. I think she stayed with Governor Leckman for a while. So. This part of Argentina is very, very similar to Utah. It's the drier area. They've got a lot of colored rock, a lot of parks, reservoirs and canyons. It was a beautiful, beautiful country. Deserts, landscapes, very kind of similar to Bryce. This is up in the Humahuaca, Pumamarca area, close as you're going up to Bolivia. But the big thing that was in Mendoza, it's their Vendimia, their harvest festival. At the end, obviously it was the seasons are switched, so we went there in our spring, their fall. It was raining the whole time we were there in Mendoza, so all the people had umbrellas. But every location elects their queen to compete in the Harvest Queen contest. And these are floats in the parade that goes through the town. And every area may be known. One area may be known for its peaches. One may be known for its tomatoes. One may be known for its grapes. As they're going through the parade, in addition to throwing candy out to the kids, they're throwing bags of tomatoes or bags of peaches out into the crowd. And you can see the picture on the right. They are known for their melons. You don't really want to throw melons out, so you see the guy there, he's got a pole with a basket at the end of it, and the attendant is just gently dropping the melon into his basket. So they're very, very particular about that. But it's a big deal. There's pictures of the queens everywhere. Some people get to vote for them. And the next day in the espectaculo is when they announce the queen. You can see here there's hundreds and hundreds of dancers, performers, acrobats, musicians. They had puppets that were 20 or 30 feet tall, and it was incredible. It was in the rain, but everybody had a great time. And then the queen is announced, and all the fireworks go off. And of course, the town that had the winning queen was very, very proud and boasted to everybody who is the best. So what do friends do? When I'm talking about this is a friendship exchange. What do friends do when they get together? Kind of like what we're doing now. They eat, right? And in Argentina, you eat beef. The asado is their Argentine barbecue. I think about most of the houses we went to had a building outside the regular home with this brick barbecue built out there with a huge area for a large table so friends and family can come and eat. It's everywhere we went, we had an asado, and I think I'm still trying to lose a couple of those kilos that I gained. On the right, you see the picture of this. If you order the mixed grill at a restaurant, you get the whole dang grill. You got chorizo, you got sausage, blood sausage, you got ribs, you got steaks, you got chicken, you got pork. Yeah, it's not a place to go if you're a vegetarian. Yeah, then there's the Coke. Also, when you're eating, you're also going to be drinking, and Mendoza is known as probably the best area in South America for wine. They have many, many wineries, from large corporate wineries, like on the left, to the small one on the right, which is just family-owned. They're very well known for their Malbec and their Torrontés white wines. Shakespeare said, "Good company, good wine, good welcome can make good people." You could be a Rotarian, building goodwill and better friendships. Wine helps with that, that's for sure. If you're not drinking wine, you're drinking mate. Mate is served, and you can see in a cup, if you want to, I guess is the best description of it. You put a metal straw with a filter at the end, and tea leaves are filled into the cup, maybe a little bit of sugar, hot water, let it steep for a few minutes, and then you sip the tea out of the straw. When you're done, you pass it along to the next person. They'll put some water into it. They sip it. It goes to the next person. You don't have your own mate. You have one that's shared, building friendships. Even in the car, there's somebody, when we were traveling from one place to another, somebody was in charge of the mate. They had everything all mixed up. They had their thermos. They were pouring water into it. Your turn. Even the driver is driving down the road drinking his mate. And if you run out of hot water when you're driving, don't worry, because there's little stores all along the road that says, hot water, 5 pesos. You go in, take your thermos, fill it up, boom, and you're off again. I saw a guy walking his dog with a leash, a mate, and a thermos underneath. Everybody's drinking mate in Argentina. With a little bit of wine and some food, the Argentines love to dance. In Buenos Aires, there's obviously the tango, whether it's in theater or in the streets. In Corrientes, they dance the samba. This is during Carnival. The guy on the right, in the skeleton costume, that costume won the award for best costume in Carnival. Somebody told me it cost about $16,000 to make that costume. In Jujuy, they dance. Their carnival is a little bit different. They don't have the feathers, but they have more of an Andean or Inca type of an influence. And on the right, we've got the District Governor Mayo dancing with a fellow Rotarian at one of the asados. So when the Argentines come to visit us, we expect John Hanrahan to bust a couple of moves for them and show them what you got. Even the parents are teaching the kids. In the restaurants, this is in the restaurant. People, these were customers of the restaurant. They got up and danced the whole time. I don't know if they even ate anything, but they love to dance in Argentina. Then from Mendoza, we took a bus and 2 plane flights to Jujuy. I love the name of that, Jujuy. It kind of makes you smile when you even say it. That's where the Spaniards, from when they conquered Peru, came down into Argentina through Jujuy and established the settlement there. In the Rotarian meeting, the Rotary, and there's John Pace there greeting everybody. When you come to a meeting and to a group of people, you have to kiss everybody on the cheek or give them a big hug. It can take a long time to greet everybody, and also you have to kiss them goodbye too at the end. So Also, friends, in addition to eating, drinking, dancing, they also give each other gifts. We gave a lot of banners. Gave a lot of pins out to everybody. If you go on an exchange, bring a whole bag full of pins and banners. It was quite the ceremony, and everybody was really excited to receive some pin. Now, this is an exchange, so the Argentines have not visited us. We are planning on them coming here October 1st through the 13th. The plan right now is for them to fly into Las Vegas, visit clubs in St. George, Moab, Park City, and end up in Salt Lake City before they go home. One of the things that you can, if you haven't had a chance to meet them, you may be able to participate in a grant that we're working on. We visited a maternity hospital in Jujuy. It's a fantastic hospital. They've got some great facilities, but they really are in need of an ambulance, because kind of like as we talked about before, a four-wheel drive would be needed to reach some of these small little villages in the mountains to bring expectant mothers to the hospital when they need care. You can talk to Fred Berthrong. He's working on a grant for that. You kind of wonder what kind of a friendship can you build in just a few weeks? Can you really build a friendship? Or is it just more of a tour company type of a deal? Let me tell you, in the pictures of the women here, they came to visit Utah about 10, 11 years ago. I'm still friends with them, and on in this trip to Argentina, I took the opportunity to visit 3 of them, and we're still great friends, and we will remain friends for a long time. And they were just with me in Park City for just a few days. This man, Freddie, he's a volunteer firefighter. He came with Anna 11 years ago to Utah. He always dreamed as a young boy to be able to touch a ladder fire truck. Now he's the director of the volunteer fire department in his city, and they have their own ladder fire truck that they got from North Carolina. But when he was here, he visited he visited a lot of the fire departments in the state of Utah. And by the time he left, with all the equipment that those fire departments gave him, I think he had about 8 extra suitcases that he took home with him. And I think the Salt Lake Club passed around the hat to pay for his overweight baggage fees. But you can tell there, if anybody here is from Richfield, he still wears his Richfield Fire Department jacket. So does it make an impact when they come here, or when we go there? Yes, it does. These are our new friends that we've made. The governor. We're going to have 10 of the Argentines come to visit us. We don't know who they're going to be yet. We should know in the next month. But these are certainly going to be friends for life. We enjoyed every bit of it, every moment there. They were super generous. They didn't have a lot of resources, but they sure have raised the bar high for when they come to visit us. We really need to show them our gratitude. Even John Pace made friends with the local pups there. Even though we live thousands of miles apart, through Rotary, we can build, with the relationships that we build through Rotary and Friendship Exchange, instead of thousands of miles apart, we're really this close. If you want to build goodwill and better friendships, go on a Rotary Friendship Exchange. Thank you.